The whales are the stabilizers inside the oceans. They inform. They are privy to ancient information. If you could decode the whales' songs, you would cry at what they are saying. And let's say there's lots of turmoil in the ocean, and there's going to be more. And it could be that the destruction of the whales is an attempt to gain greater control over what might happen in the oceans. We'll leave it at that. But do not think that the oceans cannot respond to what you are doing on Earth. Yes, there are creatures in the ocean, but the ocean itself is a living being, just as Earth is a living being. And with Uranus and Jupiter hovering into Aries and then going back into Pisces and going back into Aries, you are not at all finished with big surprises from the oceans. You have a window still to play with this energy, up until maybe January or something like this. So be aware. This is, Obama has turned out to be a false prophet. Yes? So, to start to betray the promises that he made to people. He made many promises in his campaigns, and he's betrayed almost all of them or kept none of them. I will give you transparency. I will tell you everything that's going to go on with health. You will know this and this and this. And he's been one of the most secretive and covert presidencies that you've had in a long, long time. Talk to the oceans, talk to the earth. Help to balance these things.
We talked earlier about the superhumans that are being created.
Yes.
And the young people that are young males in their 20s that are being, created. What can you just touch on that? What exactly is that? What are these?
Well, two different subjects here. The superhumans, of course, would have been being built from the 50s and 60s. Many of them are already older now. And there is a cadre within the superhumans that in the next 5 years they want to break out and reveal the truth. This is a quite simple way of saying it, but there's some big battles on the inside because they have created these super beings and cannot control them. And they keep them in control. They've had to learn how to keep them hooked up to machines, etc. But freedom reigns and beings have broken away. They are renegade. And they are on the loose. And that is one subject. And they reveal information, they pass themselves off as time jumpers sometimes, or visitors from the future. They get people to put stuff on the internet for them, and they have cover stories, but there's truth into what they are saying because they are not trapped in time. They have part of being superhuman is they were multidimensional. They could go in space, they could go underground, they could take on, as we said instantly, if they were sent into a mushroom forest, they could become part of the mushroom forest by becoming a giant mushroom. They could be highly adaptable and to make their molecules fit the environment in which they were meant to explore, whether it is a human environment, a life form environment, or simply some terrain. That's one subject. The young people. There has long been a culling of people who have intelligence. This is why they test you. It's not to create great graduates. It's not to get great teachers. It's to cull out the leaders. People in military governments are fully aware that starseed incarnate onto the planet. They are looking for starseed. You may take on human form, but they do certain tasks, and they can figure out who you are, where you've come from. This is one of the reasons that they want across-the-board DNA testing. This may come about, and soon, in the next few years, if your ET wars manifest, and they manifest as wars, there will be demands to test everyone, to make sure that you are not hiding, that you are not an ET hiding in a human body. Part of the surveillance the naked surveillance that you are going to face is to detect whether you are human or not. You know those machines where you go through and they're going to show your body? Yes, that's what part of it is. To detect your humanity. So these young people, they are pulling them and culling them. They know they're already smart. They recognize that, like Tesla, for example, and many of his colleagues, Tesla knew he worked with ETs. He knew he came from the stars. He incarnated with a group. And so there are groups coming in that are incarnating. Problem is, as we said, you get here, you don't recognize what you are doing. And so they are looking for those who are brilliant and who have come with ET agendas to help humanity. Star agendas. And of course, they're interested in the young because they live longer, they have great potential, and they have the latest. And so as parents and mothers, you really have a big job to protect your children and to inform them and to discuss things with them. And yet you know, you can all remember being 20 years old and you don't want to be told what to do you? And why would you? That is your right to go and learn your own decisions. It's just that the world is so complex today. It's very difficult for anyone to understand what they are getting involved in. So, some things to think about, yes. We have already gone over, and we thank all of you, and thank Mark and Tiffany and Paul and all the other, Pat and all the helpers that have come to make this event transpire. We thank you for your considerations in consciousness, and we bid you not to be afraid to expand. We bid you, please, not to be afraid to know about the dark, the fun dark, the not fun dark, to know the truth of the planet. Because without knowing the truth, you'll never be able to figure out what is going on. You will only drive in circles. And then you cannot help anyone else. Exhibit your bravery, your courage, and exhibit that energy that supports you, the vitality through spontaneity that wants you to flourish in this time and to extend that graciousness to all lines of time. With that, we salute you, dear friends, for your courage, and we bid you to make certain that you make this summer the very best summer of your life.